Does true enrichment lie in the frantic pursuit of an imagined grandeur, or in the steadfast devotion to the fertile ground beneath our very feet? We often chase the phantom of an instant fortune, convinced that some hidden, pre-packaged reward awaits discovery, requiring only a swift, decisive strike. But what if the greatest treasure is not buried, but cultivated? What if the real wealth is not a static object to be unearthed, but a dynamic process, a slow, arduous unfolding that transforms both the seeker and the sought? Consider the paradox: the more intensely we fixate on a predefined outcome, the more blind we become to the organic abundance that diligent effort naturally yields. Is it possible that our most fervent desires, when misdirected, divert us from the very path that would bring us prosperity, ironically ensuring we overlook the true source of lasting value? High in the secluded valleys, where ancient roots twisted through bedrock, lay a vast, dormant expanse of clay. This clay was deep, rich, and utterly inert, content in its stillness, holding generations of potential within its unmoving mass. Nearby, a nascent spring bubbled forth, its waters gathering into a vigorous current. This current, though young, was imbued with an innate sense of purpose, an unyielding desire to find the great ocean, a mythical expanse it had only ever heard whispered by the ancient winds. The current believed its destiny lay in an arduous, singular journey, a swift and unbroken path to that distant, shimmering horizon. Its focus was entirely forward, its energy dedicated to the singular goal of reaching the promised sea. It viewed anything that impeded its direct flow as an obstacle, an annoyance. The clay, to the current, was merely a massive, unyielding bank, a feature of the landscape to be navigated around, certainly not to be interacted with. The current, driven by a powerful narrative of a hidden shortcut whispered by rogue breezes, a subterranean channel that promised to deliver it directly to the ocean without the long, winding descent, began to subtly erode its banks, searching for this elusive passage. It carved small, superficial gullies, diverting its strength into countless minor fissures, each one a hopeful but ultimately fruitless probe. Its waters churned with a frenetic energy, but its progress towards the true, winding river path was slow, almost negligible. Meanwhile, the clay, undisturbed by the current's frantic, superficial probing, remained solid, patient. Unseen by the rushing current, tiny, mineral-rich particles began to detach from the clay's underbelly, carried by the subtle vibrations of the world. These particles were microscopic, but over seasons, they began to accumulate in the small, neglected pools formed by the current's exploratory efforts. In its haste to find the shortcut, the current had inadvertently softened the clay in certain spots, creating miniature depressions. Within these depressions, as the current occasionally spilled over in its quest, these mineral deposits mingled with stray organic matter, forming a nutrient-rich sediment. The current never paused to notice, never considered that its seemingly wasted efforts were, in fact, laying a foundation. Its gaze was fixed solely on the imagined subterranean tunnel. It was consumed by the idea of an instantaneous breakthrough, blind to the slow alchemy occurring at its edges. Many seasons passed. The current exhausted itself, its volume diminished by countless diversions, its energy dissipated by the relentless, fruitless search for a secret path that did not exist. It had carved numerous shallow scars into the landscape, but had made little true progress towards the sea. Then, one exceptionally dry year, the spring that fed the current began to falter. The current, weakened and desperate, found its flow reduced to a mere trickle. It was then, in its lowest state, that it noticed the changes in the clay it had once so disdainfully bypassed. In the places where its failed excavations had created small, persistent pools, a vibrant, lush marshland had begun to flourish. The clay, having been subtly aerated and nourished by the current's forgotten particles, had become extraordinarily fertile. Now, this rich soil held the precious remaining water, sustaining it, filtering it, and slowly, gently guiding it back into a deeper, more defined channel that had naturally formed over time. The marsh, a direct consequence of the current's initial, unrewarded diligence, became the very source of its renewed strength, stabilizing its flow and offering a clear, albeit slower, path forward. The hidden treasure was not a shortcut, but the transformed, life-giving essence of the very earth it had scorned. This narrative mirrors the human tendency to seek instant gratification and life hacks for success, overlooking the profound value of consistent, diligent effort. We are often like the current, driven by the siren call of a secret pathway to prosperity, convinced that true wealth is a concealed object rather than a cultivated state. We expend vast energy on superficial endeavors, digging for a magical solution only to find ourselves exhausted and no closer to our grand objective. Yet, much like the clay, our sustained, often uncelebrated work, even when seemingly fruitless, is never truly wasted. Every small act of dedication, every moment of genuine effort, subtly transforms our internal landscape and the environment around us, creating a foundation for organic, sustainable growth. The treasure is not what we find, but what we build through our perseverance, often in places we initially dismissed as mundane. The Filiarium reminds us, some fortunes are not stumbled upon, but meticulously grown. The most profound abundance often blossoms from the soil of unyielding effort, revealing its true worth only to those who have patiently tended it.